Hey, what's up, guys? This is March the 26th, 2015. This is Angus. I took a lot of my videos off because I've been getting a lot of flags, and uh, my other channel went down. So, and also I have to say that I have to admit that when I'm getting uh, goofy or silly, sometimes it's trying to be funny, and other times it's just it's not funny. Quite frankly. So I can't sit here and endorse being silly. I mean, regardless, when you put yourself out online, okay, like if this is for anybody, okay, if you're gonna make an ass out of yourself, then just say then you're a comedian. Just make an ass out of yourself all the time, then nobody would ever take you seriously. But when you're combining serious things with comedy, sometimes that's not a great combination because people won't know when you're being serious or when you're being when you're trying to be funny. And I think that's going to be probably spell bad news for any kind of activism if you're trying to be effective within white nationalism, white rights, or anything to do with the white genocide project that's going on by the elites here to eliminate the whites off the planet. It really isn't a joking matter. But I think you should try. Okay, that being said, I think you probably should try to find your niche in things and stick with it. This is for anybody that wants to try to make a difference. Use whatever gifts that have been given to you by divinity, nature, whatever you want to call it, God. Use whatever you have and try to get going with where you are. And don't be afraid to do that. Looking at some of the stuff that's out, it is a scary world, that we live in. It's dangerous and it's scary. I've said before, I believe you have to be a diplomat. I think you have to be able to talk to people. I think that's important, to be able to talk to people of all races, okay, whether they're black or white or Asian or if they're whatever ethnic group they belong to or culture, whether they're Jewish or Latino or whatever. You should be able to verse yourself within their culture so that you don't appear naive. Like, I live in a city, so I have to see lots of different people, and I have to be able to try to relate to different people in a multiple level, a lot of times. So you can't really walk around with a chip on your shoulder and be pissed off all the time. It's good if you're trying to get a reaction to well, fuck this or fuck that. You can see that some people do use those kinds of tactics. It does, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think that your audience, you want to have catered and geared toward what you're trying to do. I'm making this video for people that want to get involved. I've watched a lot of guys. I won't name names, but I've seen a lot of the guys out there, and I've seen some of the mistakes that they make. There are plenty of them. Some people can start off strong. They can get involved with their own websites and different things, and then later on down the line fumble the ball. That sometimes their own pride gets to them. They say, there's nobody like me, I'm the best, and they kind of get, well, I think it's not an issue of ego. I think it's an issue of resentment that there isn't anybody else out there, and that I'm the only one doing it, and so you should be thankful. And I think that's where a lot of people come to with this, regardless of who it is. I don't have to name names, but I mean, when you feel like the lone person that's being active, you will get to a point to where you don't care what people think, literally. And that's a bad place to be because that's your audience. So you have to care, but at the same time, there are people out there that have malintentions and want you to quit, even though you may only be the lone sole survivor out there. So that for anybody out there that looks at my videos or watches my stuff and says, well, this guy's just a clown, nobody treats him seriously. Well, I wasn't in an effective enough position to launch any kind of an internet campaign, of a website or even starting my own kind of project. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like that. I was simply just trying to get the reaction of the public, just to see what kind of take it for a test drive, a little bit of a an experiment to see what kind of a reaction you get when you finally just say, hey, this is what's going on. Here's the proof. Here's what's happening, and you explain it. And apparently the public is pretty well brainwashed. They're pretty far gone. And it is a scary day we live in. I could use Alex Jones as an example. He does tell the truth on some things. David Icke does tell the truth on some things, but they mix in. The part is that when they get to the point to where it's like the boy that cries wolf. You know, if you cry wolf, you cry wolf, you cry wolf. What happens? They come running. Where's the wolf? Where's the wolf? There's no wolf. You know, and then eventually, you cry wolf again, and there really is a wolf, and no, I mean a real big wolf. Okay, but nobody cares because you've fucking lied so often that that nobody takes you seriously when there really is a threat. And so this is a problem with putting out disinformation. You know, people that... Again, I can't name names. I could use Alex Jones because I think that he has kind of gone off with the water filters and the different stuff, and I think we can all see that. Of course, he's trying to make money, and that can't be really held against him because he is running sort of a business, I guess, with InfoWars and the different site, his different internet activities. But my point is that when you get off on crazy wild things that can be disproven very easily, then people won't take you seriously. That being said, I did watch his channel. He put one on about this. He has one about the United States, the government or the military wants to conduct military training activities in both Utah and Texas. And because they see these as high threat areas. Utah, because of the Mormons, you know, and the Mormons are, and it's mostly white. Really, that's what they want to try to say is because it's mostly white. There's a small area of Southern California that they are also using these training exercises on. But what's going to become of it, I don't know. You know, they're gonna train, and this is a legitimate good story. Joe Biggs is on it. Alex Jones is on it. It lends credibility to it when I see Joe Biggs on it. He brings a little bit more flair to the thing. But apparently what they want to do this summer between July and September, I believe that's the dates, is they want to run some sort of training exercises where they're going to actually be invading the military's good. Believe it or not, he's actually on the ball with this one, where they're actually going to be invading government installations and using explosions and all these things, and they're trying to, but they're not really telling the public as well as they should. I guess the LEOs are telling, the law enforcement is telling the public. Hopefully, they're telling the public, hey, it's all right. But what happens if they do, go, oh, well, we slipped up and we shot a couple of people, and then the people go, well, this isn't a training exercise. This is a hostile takeover. And what if, there's one faction of the training exercise that is fake, and then another faction of the training exercise that is real? You say that doesn't happen. Well, mistakes happen all the time. Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, was shot during the making of The Crow because somebody put a live bullet in one of the actor's guns. There was a live bullet, and that was a hit. Whether that was Triad or who that did that, I don't know, but it was a hit is what it was. They took him out of there. Somebody actually made sure that there was some live bullets in one of those guns and shot him, and he had a quarter-size hole in his spine before he died in his early 20s, I believe he was, Brandon Lee, that did the movie The Crow. So mistakes do happen, and this is really all it takes to get the public in a frenzy, because they're already panicking, and they're already seeing that the government seems to be out of control. Actually, it seems would be being generous. I think probably over the top obvious that the government's out of control. So Alex is absolutely on the ball with this particular story this summer. I think you could see a martial law type scenario that could actually take place out of this. 9/11, when the towers were hit, there was the one air traffic call says, "Is this part of the drill too?" So they were actually running a real live drill while these planes were flying into the buildings. That's too much of a coincidence. So no, they wasn't running no drill, but the people that were actually watching this, that were responsible for the safety of what's going on, were like, well, it's just a drill. So that it's a PSYOP operation. And so Alex is absolutely on the ball with this. I think they will try to take out the people that are not cooperating with them within the governmental structure of the sovereign, the Lone Star state of Texas, as well as the Mormon state of Utah, because these people hoard I'm not a fan of Mormonism. I don't believe in Joseph Smith. I don't think he's going to be sitting at the right hand of God. I think Christ will if I'm a Christian. But I have to say that. But don't let that discredit Mormonism. They do believe in Jesus Christ. I am a Christian, so I won't shit all over Mormonism. But I will say there's aspects of it I don't believe in. But as far as the state of Utah, they're very... they don't drink caffeine, they don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't chew, they don't go out with girls who do, but they hoard a lot of food and stuff in Utah, and it's majority white. So that's obviously another because remember, this has always been about white genocide. So they got to get them guns away from these people and make them play ball. And so these two states will probably be very dangerous, I think, this coming summer. This could be a prerequisite. This could be a preemptive kind of a trial run like they did with the Boston after the Boston Marathon bombings, where they went door to door knocking in people's doors. Hey, we're here. We're part of the wellness crew. We're here to make sure everybody's okay inside the house. Boom! Kick the door in. Everybody all right in here? And if you flip out and shoot one of them, well, then gunfire starts going off, and then everybody in the neighborhood's going, shit, they're going around shooting people. But the soldiers are told, the military's told, well, you have to check on them. It's your duty. You're part of the wellness team. So this should not be, these types of training exercises should in no way be happening within the United States. There's no need to train to take over government institutions and go through churches and door to door and stuff as a training routine. No way in the world that should be going on. These states in particular, Utah and Texas, they're representatives and state senators and different representatives. They say, hey, we're not going along. We don't want you training here. Go do it down somewhere else. Go out into the desert somewhere where there's not populations, build some houses and put some fake dummies in there, and then do it like that, but don't come through our community and try to use some kind of live training exercises. This is going to cause problems. Obviously, you can see that. So I think that Alex Jones is on the ball with that story. And we need to be very wary and fearful of that. I don't mean to fear monger, but I mean you need to be deeply concerned about that. That is a sign that something is bad going on, real bad, and they want to use something now. They're hitting the panic button. The CEO of Starbucks did his race relations campaign there with race. Talk about race, and really it's just another ploy to generate more animosity between races, because now, well, when we all know what a racist is, it's a white person. That's what a racist is, okay? Starbucks. So I mean, just put a picture of a white person on the or KKK on every one of your fucking coffees and tell everybody to feel sorry that they're white, because that's what you're doing. And so shame on you for that. But I mean, they know all these people. They've got so much money. They're soulless bastards. And they're really scared. I think they're probably as scared as the public may very well be right now. With good reason, the public should be scared. These people hold all the cards, and you should realize and prepare yourself for what could be a very nasty ending to your life. I don't believe anybody from born in this generation is going to die of a natural death, unless you're about 80 years old right now. That's just my opinion. That's not fear-mongering. I don't think you're going to die of a natural death. I don't think I'm going to die of a natural death. I expect it to be brutal, to see colors, possibly to be tortured to death before that, stomped to death, hit in the head with bricks, shot, you name it. There's no limit. They've already done this. They've killed 60 million people in Russia, 60 million white people. Steven Spielberg don't make no movies about that. They don't want you to know that's what these people do when they get in control. They're psychotic. They're out of control. And, all I can say is it's kind of the public's fault for not understanding that they really did need to stand up. These people are just out of control. So Alex Jones is right on that one, and I'll give Alex credit for that. But I'm going to take a little break from video making because I'm getting burned out, quite frankly, and I need to get back into trying to have some kind of personal life, because this does take a toll on you. Anybody that's tried to make videos or do blogs or anything, it does, because you're dealing with a lot of factors, trolls and personal life and all kind of stuff, and it fucks your head up, man. It does fuck your head up. So for anybody that's seen me falter, you know what? Stick with it a little while. You will too. Try to do what I do. Any of you. You'll see.